No! Sleep till Thruxton! That Beastie Boys song is 40 years old, and I'm not up in the middle of the night with plans to steal VW badges. We'll leave that back for decades. Although if you do bump into us at the track, ask about Next Door George, Topless Pauline, and the Me Too incidents. A proper insight into the Volkswagen-inspired carnage of the summer of 1986. So, it's Thruxton this weekend. For me, it's the longest trip of the year. It's into short road trip territory. 320 miles from Sunderland to Thruxton, setting off at 2:30 in the morning. It's now 4 o'clock to get there for 8:30 a.m. First car's on track at 9 a.m. Work through till sometime after 6 p.m. Then it's an hour drive to grab some food and get to the hotel. Hopefully asleep by 11 a.m. Flipped the other way for tomorrow. That's around 740 miles of driving, 19 hours on my feet at the circuits, and not enough sleep. And the thing about that Beastie Boys album, Slayer's guitarists were on it. That's what made it cool. Right, 5:30 a.m. Bit of Coca-Cola, Diet Coca-Cola. And a bit of breakfast. Double sausage egg McMuffin. Yeah. A few road closures on the way down. Put us back about 20 minutes, sending us into the middle of nowhere. I'm at a McDonalds just outside Rotherham, on the edge of Rotherham, just off the M18. It's pretty consistent. I usually stop here on the way there and back. Because you know what it's like at some McDonald's? Mackie D's, I like to be cold. Not here though. Whoever's got this franchise is pretty much on the ball. I've been wanting this one for about 7 or 8 years. Brecky. Time to get on the road. We're going to go past Donington Park on the way, and on the M1, then we'll go on the A43, we'll go past Silverstone, and then I'll stop somewhere interesting to get some petrol.
It's really funny, and he's starting to become like all over my feeds. That's when I started seeing screenshots of his Snapchats in my life.
Right, so if you're new to the channel, you like the motorsport photographer, videographer, journalist and kind of video niche on YouTube, you know, good lads travelling the world covering F1 and endurance racing. It's a bit different here. I'm not that posh. I don't do the world travel covering the glam side of the sport. I mean, about that direction. I'm about 50 metres from the Mercedes F1 factory, just over there, and we'll go and have a look at the sign and turn round before security, before heading on. But it's massive over there. Back when the likes of Jacques Villeneuve and Olivier Panis were racing for the team, when it was British American racing, I wasn't a journalist or photographer. I was in F1 composites as a manufacturing engineer. My job was to build components like steering columns for them. There's no problem with that kind of thing now, but here's the thing. I can't travel the world the way those guys can. For a start, I don't have a passport at the moment, but those Central Asian hubs, they're out of bounds for me. I have a bit of a history. That would mean getting off a plane in China or UAE, I'd be sent home. Saudi Arabia or Qatar, according to legal advice from the old journalism union, I'd be locked up. And I think in the current climate I'd be turned to be at the border if I tried to get into the US. Unless I used to burn a phone and disable my social media. Might get away with it then, but enough about that. Time to crack on. 230 something miles done, 80 odd miles to go, an hour and a half to go. Yeah, let's get some petrol. And off we go to Thruxton. Fastest circuit in the UK. Go Luxor, yeah?
I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control for the power you're supplying. It's electrifying. I better shape up.
I said argument or a fight, and you said argument. I want to fight.
What are we arguing about?
It's me.
Anything.
Aye, so I just want an argument. Trying to get something different at Thruxton is hard work. So much of the track is restricted due to red zone limits, and the areas that they are open for trackside photography give limited angles for anything decent. For the opening practice session, I took a walk through the spectator area up the Noble Corner. Photographers can hop the fence and head round to Goodwood, but it doesn't offer anything fresh. The problem at this part of the circuit is elevation. Even if you capture the speed, it's with a disconnect. As a spectator, it's a very decent view with a large part of the track visible. I only headed there to try and get something different. It's been 4 or 5 years since I went that far around, and this time it wasn't really any better. But with the first practice being 50 minutes long, I wanted to cover a lot of ground. I was up there for about 20 minutes before heading down to the lower areas around the Cobb Campbell Seagrave complex. It's one of those places where you can catch cars crunching and launching the curbs, but with this being the only practice session, with the rule change for this season, not everybody is on it all the time, especially when they're scrubbing tyres for use in qualifying in the races. It was an average session for me. My favourite shots coming around the complex with the entry curb and switchback were given a chance to see some cars get a bit of air.
We come here this weekend second to Ash Sutton in the championship. Tom Ingram, number 18, with a 115.9.
I'm anti-social, mate, like.
You're anti-social.
I don't like working in the media centre. Actually, when the docs pointed out after a couple of tests that I am an Aspie with ADHD, sorry, I know I'm not allowed to say Aspie anymore, but that's what I've got. And it kind of explains my elitist attitude and ability to get into a fight quite easily. But that's where some of me social awkwardness comes from. It's fucking weird though, because people see me as the gobby confrontational northerner, and I am, but sometimes I need to be alone. Excuse me. But yeah, just sometimes I need to be alone. and I can't work around people very well. I absolutely cannot work with somebody behind us. My head goes to a place where something's going to kick off. And when I walk in somewhere, the first thing I do is look for the escape routes. Not for health and safety reasons, just in case I'm outnumbered and kick off with things and need a quick exit. Sounds mad, but that's the kind of bollocks that goes through my head. So I usually work from the car. Plus, I can come for a nap and eat like a pig, out of the way of everybody else. Right now, actually, I've got a 50-minute break, so this Aspie is going to go for a nap. I'm buggered. I've been up since 2:30 this morning. It's now 1:45, and I think it's lunchtime. As in, like, the track for the marshals. Is it lunchtime? I don't know, but I'll be back over there for qualifying. The two-part qualifying is a bit better than what we've had over the last few years. I decided to hit pit lane with half the drivers on track and half in the garages. It's a decent opportunity to get some shots of the human side of the sport. From the point of view of being a journalist, it also helps to gauge the mindset of the drivers before and after the runs. It's an insight you don't get if you're in the media centre, and it's one reason why I love the fact that I combine both roles for some unique perspectives. The Thruxton pit lane's my favourite because it's on a curve at the pit wall, but the apron is straight. You can see everything, which is the opposite to, say, Silverstone. But like Croft, the cars are packed tight, so you do have to be very wary around the cars because there's a lot of activity. It's actually a couple of years since I shot in pit lane on a race weekend during a live session. Pre-season I get some shots in, and before and after sessions I do too, but it was a nice change. Apart from the distance to travel, I love Thruxton. It has its difficulties. It's quite limited if you want a variety of images as a photographer off the tracks of red zone. As a journalist, it's a little hard to work. The teams don't use the garages between races, they work from awnings attached to the sides of the trucks. It makes it a little harder to grab some of the interviews during the day that you need. But yeah, even though this one was a bit slow, it's just good to be back. Ready for the first race of the day, but I'm not allowed to show you any footage for Btcc for TV licence and rights. No race footage, no grid footage, and nothing in the pit lane while the session's active. So yeah, it's not a problem working, that is it. BMW's getting on well there.
Well, it's one of the Toyotas he hit.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I'm blind, what do I know?
Well, there's mistakes in the car, I think, but I can see that.
A wander up to the rear of the grid is something I always do at a race weekend. You can get clean shots of the cars before they get out to the grid. It's one of the little cheats that some photographers like to use, like very low shutter speeds under safety car when you're at a part of the track where you're close to the cars. Now me, I have a habit of hearing accidents rather than seeing them or photographing them. More of that in the final race of the weekend, but a bit of a smash on a safety car restart on the start line, and I caught up with poor quality shots, thanks to having a manual setting for the final corner before that. I was also asked to move by a TV cameraman at one point, nice and polite. The TV has precedence over us, but it was nice to have a request with a please and not a rant. Overall, a fairly average session with limited views thanks to a new red zone at the end of the fence. I could have headed to Woodham, but it's a bit boring in terms of shots, to be honest.
Run, Forest.
Maybe a box.
What do we do now? Helmet on the
You?
Yeah? Yeah. Well, not bad. I'm still kicking fucking grit out of my eyes for turn 1, but...
Oh, boo hoo hoo.
I know, actually, no, my sunburnt ankle is a little bit sore from my holiday. My bum hurts from my Mercedes.
you recorded all of this.
What other problems do I have? Oh, my second car's only working sometimes at the moment. Is there anything else annoying that's happened to me lately? I've got to put up with this cunt 24/7. Yeah. That's probably the worst one. And you're back. Mate, if she kicked you with that, it'd fucking hurt.
That's whack. Doesn't really work. I have no flex in my knee.
Jesus, I'm goosed. It's 4 PM. There's still another couple of hours to go, but the Btcc's finished for the day, and I've got to say it wasn't particularly inspiring. Qualifying and practice seemed a bit and then big gaps in the race. Is this boost thing working? Some would say no. Right, so that's that done. It's time to go on a little mystery tour before we get back to the hotel.
Well, if you feel a weird affection, you're too shy to convey. Meditate in my direction. Ooh, and feel your way. Better shape up. 'Cause you need a man who can keep you satisfied. Better shape up if I'm gonna prove that my faith is justified. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure down deep inside you.
This is a bit of a throwback for me, because these roads that are used for tank drivers for the British Army. I remember spending a summer holiday here as a kid watching Chieftain tanks and Scorpion and similar light tanks while staying with family at the barracks. Married quarters at Shipton, Belgium, just down the road, which is beside Tidworth and Bulford. Stonehenge was in one direction, which I don't think we visited, and Thruxton the other. And I remember playing ski electric while there was racing on at Thruxton, where literally a certain Ayrton Senna was taking his first wins in car racing, about 2 miles away from where we were standing. I mean, Christ, I was 6-year-old. I still remember my cousin Steve had the 6-wheeled March F1 car. What he called it, the mashed potato. It was it was quite an amazing time. So I'm in Swindon. Oh, God almighty. I've never been to Swindon before. But getting back to what I was saying, about 1981, down at Shipton, Bellinger. As for the road trip home to Sunderland at the end of that summer, I think it took 8 hours. My uncle in his metallic blue Renault 14, it might have been left-hand drive, my auntie in the passenger seat, in the back with no seat belts, me mum, me and my sister and my 2 cousins, 7 of us in a Renault 14 for 8 hours. All I can recall is weighing into a cup while on the move and the liquid being deposited out the window. Hopefully the journey home tomorrow will be a little less splashy. Now to go and find a McDonald's or a Burger King. Mackie D's again for tea. Just seeing a lad with a Sunderland t-shirt on, which was cool. Because down at bloody Thruxton, the space for now, I saw 3 lads with Newcastle shirts and 1 with a fucking Newcastle hat on. I wasn't happy, like. Told them that they need a wash. Right, time to eat. The hotel looks like Wentworth Prison. I'm hoping I'm not going to be beaten up by the top dog, B. Smith, or given a battering by Officer Joan. Some of you will be wondering what the fuck I'm waffling on about. But let's see what it's like. And if I get a release date. It's an old Australian drama, Prisoner Cell Block H. That's what it was known as over here. So, anyways, you know, I'm in Swindon, and I know nothing about the place, except it's where Swindon Town Football Club come from. And being a Sunderland supporter, it just takes me to 1990 when we beat Newcastle in the playoff semi-finals.
He gets it back. Yes! That's the goal that will send Sunderland into the final playoff at Wembley.
And we lost to Swindon in the playoff final. But instead of being promoted, they were relegated to League Two, as it's known now, over dodgy dealings. We went up instead. And what else is there in Swindon? Oh, bloody hell. Amazing Frog. This guy. That mad game with the flatulent frog. It was mental. And it was based in an alternative Swindon. And as for these wonderful walls, I never had much luck with Travelodge, to be honest. It's a late booking, 60 quid. I usually prefer Premier Inn. In fact, I usually don't do hotels, but that's what's my record. Donington, Btcc, when the deal was delayed by rain in 2024. And I managed to catch up with some sleep in the morning in the car park. The 2 rooms above us were destroyed by newly promoted amateur football club, whose players spent 2 hours from Waddle 3 partying and pulling radiators off the wall. Then there was the gangbang upstairs. It was one bloke after another, and she was loud, where there was some kind of a gang fight and people climbed up the fire escape all night. And another one, I can't remember where there was a fight in the next room which required police and ambulances. So let's see what goes fuck up tonight, eh? Last year I stayed on the east side and lived out my literal childhood nightmares. Watership Down. Nope, it's not a cute story about rabbits. The movie has a song that makes the whole world cry.
Bright eyes, burning like fire.
And as a kid, you laughed at the French seagull saying, "Piss off!" But once you sat and read the book, themes of dictatorship and fascism explored pretty heavily. Pertinent today, wouldn't you say? The death of culture, a failing welfare state, environmental destruction, and the control of information. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Richard Adams, one hell of an author. It's been run by a horse racing training place owned by Andrew Lloyd Webber, mind. He has his Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the opera is there inside my mind.
I have mind. The Iron Maiden one is much better than that la-di-da shite. The other side of the nightmare was Greenham Common. Those of you old enough might think about the peace camp, and some of you might even reject the ideals. But what did it represent when it hosted nuclear weapons? What did those bunkers designed to protect those weapons represent? Ooh, big one. I didn't do Shakespeare at school. It wasn't on the syllabus. I did read it in later years, and it's not my cup of tea, mind. Instead, we had to watch Threads. Now that was our daily reality, being youngsters aged 12 or 13. We lived under that daily threat. Our reading, we took Brother in the Land by Robert Swindles, a book about a boy in Yorkshire surviving a nuclear apocalypse. Pretty vivid. A chapter of the 1977 book, The Third World War by General Sir John Hackett and others, about the nuclear destruction of Birmingham, with ground zero being Winson Green Prison. Greenham was always in the news. The place gave me a skipped heartbeat. But now, wow, a wonderful programme of rewilding. And going there, closed nightmare that went from the age of 12 or 13 and ran with me for 36 or 37 years. The O'Mears adverts on the telly. She's got a fucking weird smile, hasn't she? It freaks me out, that. It's like some kind of like satanic eyeballs burying into your fucking soul, isn't it? Oh, Stonehenge is on the telly. Oh, no, it's not. Sunday morning. And it's raining. Well, showering. First time in about 3 months or something. Which is, you know, I've just put my factor 50 on. Now, apparently it's going to shower at about 9 o'clock, and it's now 6:30. I've been up for about 45 minutes. I had a hit and a shower, but I didn't have to shave. Going to go to McDonalds for my breakfast, and you'll be happy to know that this vlog was front heavy for the Saturday, because today's going to be pretty busy, so there'll not be as much of this kind of thing. So Lando on the telly. Why is Josh Cook not up there? Because he won yesterday. Anyway, let's go and get the rest of the gear packed up, get some to eat. Oh dear me, I'm starting to get a bit sick of it actually already. It's raining, like proper raining. What's this? Lunch. It's not lunchtime, but you know, Greg's. You can tack the lad out the northeast, but you can't tack the northeast out the lad. Actually, if you're from the northeast or you're up in the northeast, I'll tell you now, Dixon's is better than Greg's. They should go national or international. Savoy dip, why aye.
3, 2, 1, go. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Starting to peel.
What is that from his? Thank you very much.
Alright.
Good luck.
Probably a decade.
You got 5 minutes left?
New profile picture.
I'll post that.
Am I ruining your high quality work, like, am I?
You are, mate.
As I've said about Thruxton, it's limited. Part of that is thanks to a couple of areas being small. Inside the final chicane does some lovely shots, but for a 25-minute race you can't leave and head to another part of the track, so it's the full session. I do like this angle, but I didn't think about the angle of the sun. Even with the polarising filter, there's a lot of reflection from the windscreens, much more than I'd like. There was a bit of huffing and puffing from some of the Orange Army after all the photographers were there on Saturday, which is a result of the fact that there's not many decent points to shoot from. To be honest, it was possibly the worst session I've ever had shooting from this position. Keeping well?
Huh?
You keeping well?
Yeah, mate, all good, thank you. What about you?
I'm a fat cunt, so not.
Fair enough.
I'm keeping Greg's well. Hey up, gorgeous. Enjoy yourself on the other side over there.
Yeah, it's fucking dodgy as fuck though.
So you were coming out the first turn on the grass.
Yeah, I know. Head towards you.
Look, fella. What do you mean, oh no?
Oh no.
What do you mean, oh no?
How you doing? Alright.
Fantastic, yourself?
Yeah, good. You have a good journey down?
6 hours, so actually it was a good journey down. The journey up, that's going to be a killer.
Going up tonight?
Yeah, straight after the last race. Well, do my interviews and then go. Whew. First race done. It was actually quite fun. I went inside the last chicane and we had a bit of a telling off because when you're allowed to hit people there now. I did offer a fight, but it was declined. I'm a northerner. Apparently I don't smell a ferret, but I am proper northern. What's that on the dashboard? Me dinner. Oh, it's hot. Still works. Like I said, I know what I do. You know, you can have your posh nosh and your hospitality and you can get your fancy food here, there and everywhere, but no, I'll have me Greg's pasties. I'm going to have it now in a little bit of a break before I go out for race 2. I'm not covering the supports and I am still goose from yesterday. Do you want to watch us eat the pasty? I thought not. I'll not torture you with that. Steak bakes, actually. Posh name for pasties. That's what happens when you become a national conglomerate of bakery products. You start calling them steak bake instead of a steak pasty. Fuck knows why. I didn't think them pasties were right. What, did they not know how to take proper Greg's down south? So I'm having a little bag of crisps. I'm just hoping that wasn't something wrong. I mean, they were fresh this morning, cooked. They were cooking them as I picked them up, but I think they've undercooked them a little bit. Again, I tried something different. I usually shoot from the complex for one race, heading along to the start line, but I'd already taken those shots in race 1, so I started halfway between Allard and Campbell to get the cars as they come through the first turn flat out at the start, and I got that. The thing about this part of the track is because of the slight left sweep, you really get the capabilities of a Btcc car, how fast they really are in these confines. There was a couple of moments with cars running wide that nipped the arse a bit. My mate Matt was on the other side of the track and at one point had a couple of cars on the grass coming straight at him. I enjoyed shooting the race, even though some of the acute angles aren't exactly delivering wow shots. But getting along to the finish line for the checkered flag and getting to park firmly without a long walk was a bit of a bonus. Does that put you third then? Nice motor. I'm heading back in and everybody's heading home. I'm just getting back in for the last touring car race. I haven't been doing any of the supports because I'm too much of a knacker. Cannot be arsed. But we only cover touring cars in the magazine, so there's no point doing other stuff and wasting energy anyway. So let's see if they let us back in, to where I shot the qualifying race, outside the last turn. Normally, I don't go back to where I've already shot, but I knew the golden hour sunlight was at the perfect angle. After it being a bit overcast and flat on Saturday, it really was much more vivid. As I said about missing accidents, I was shooting the middle of the pack and missed Smiley and Rainford going off to me right, but even bigger, I missed Aaron Taylor-Smith to me left. Literally to me left. Just a couple of feet where he went into the barrier. It led to me getting a text from home asking if I was okay as my family saw the crash on TV, with me in the centre of the screen beside the barrier. There was a bit of damage, so we were moved away, meaning that angles were further limited. But the light quality, the fact it was the last race of the day, and the fact I'd walked around 11 or 12 miles on both days and was knackered, meant it was a fairly nice session. After that, it was over to the garages, time to get some more interviews for the race report, and then head home.
Thank you.
Day done. Race 3 was fun. Like I said, I wasn't going to do much on this today, shooting at the track. Because taking photo, the photography work's quite heavy, and obviously interviews and whatnot on the journalism side. So I haven't got much time to be doing what I did yesterday. Sunday's always busier, but it's now 7:20. I should be back to Silverstone about 9:15, where I'll hit McDonald's, and I'll be home sometime after midnight. That's sometime after 1 o'clock, unless I have a nap on the way when I'm parked. So let's get going.